This week's Reading and Writing Spotlight is continuing with information about how you can bring your reader along with you in structuring your paragraph with particular signal words. Today we're talking about problem solution. This is a type of paragraph or paragraphs that you're likely to have towards the end of your essay, where you're wrapping up and highlighting what the issue is, and then perhaps what recommendations can be made. So in this case, problem solution, but it might be that you're talking about a particular issue or topic, and then you're recommending or you're stating what should be done at the end. It might be that you have been looking at a particular type of difficulty that a pupil might have, and so you're now recommending types of supports that they might have in the classroom. It could be that you're looking at wider issues of gender, and you found some evidence that talks about how some of the gender inequities might be resolved. So anytime you want to state an issue and then talk about what should or could be happening with it. When you're taking notes in this kind of, for this kind of paragraph, you use something like the cause and effect ones that we looked at earlier. In this case, because you might not be sure how many different types of solutions or recommendations there might be, it's good to draw this one freehand. So in this case, I would have in the first box the issue or the idea that I was thinking about resolving, and of course then I add the information that I find that talks about recommendations for that or solutions for that. Now, you might have one issue and 3 different solutions or 3 different recommendations. You might have one problem and 2 solutions. So it really depends on the issue that you're looking at. Sometimes you might even have more than one problem that has the one solution. In that case, you would be looking at reversing this note-taking framework. So with this kind of thing and taking notes, you're thinking about, first of all, identifying what is the problem or what is the issue that you've been discussing in your writing, and then what are the recommendations or the solutions that are directly found for that. So once you start writing, you'll be using these sorts of signal words to remember, as I said earlier in when we started talking about different types of signal words, without even knowing it, these signal the reader to follow along a pattern that you're drawing for them. You know, we don't recognize that it's happening to us as readers, but once we see something that signals to us, for example, the dilemma, we start to connect this. Then we see a signal word, signal words like the proposed solution. So in our brains, we're actually creating a diagram like this in order to comprehend what you're writing for us. So these signal words are incredibly important for structuring and signaling to the reader what it is you're trying to do. You might have more than one problem and solution paragraph if you have more than one solution, but it's important to keep this pattern going. I'm going to pop these signal words underneath the video in YouTube, but remember you can always just put in a Google search for problem solution signal words, and you'll find lots of resources that will help you to do that. Your first draft, you might not have these signal words. Second draft, go through, look to see where you can place them in order to signal to your reader what it is that you're trying to do in this particular section of your text. Okay, we have, I think, 2 more types of paragraphs to go, so I'll see you next week when we'll look at sequential or timelines as a way of signaling to your reader that you're showing the sequence of something happening. Thanks, everyone.